All right, guys. It was Ben Bergeron who gave me this original idea in regards to coaching. He said one of his criteria for coaches was he had to be able to take a 3-hour car ride with them. I pride myself. I think I could take a 3-hour car ride with almost anyone. I subscribe to the idea that if you're involved in a conversation and you're bored or uninterested, that it is most likely that you are the boring or uninteresting person. I can learn something from everyone. And if I am skilled enough and as a conversationalist and I am interested, I think I can make any conversation interesting and have a good time with almost anybody. So I will say, instead of a 3-hour car ride, I would consider it more of like a 10-hour car ride criteria. And that is something I could definitely do with all of the coaches. I enjoy my time with all of them. I like having conversations that make me think, whether it is something deep or trivial. It could be on the nature of friendship. We could be having a conversation on the best era of pro football. We could be having a conversation on what kind of fish fights the hardest when you're fishing. Trivial or deep, I like doing all of it, and I like having all those kinds of conversations with the coaches we have. I like coaching. I like it more now than when I started, both because I am better at it and because I know now what I need to work on better. I know all the subtleties of coaching and I know my weaknesses. And so I enjoy it even more now than when I started. Having said that, I've learned over time, if I'm coaching more than 20 hours a week, more than 20 classes a week, my output as a coach starts to diminish. I lose some of my attention to detail and I lose some of my energy. But having said that, I would coach all the classes again rather than have a coach I didn't want to have. And the coaches know this. I can teach the skills of coaching. There's a skill set to coaching just like any other job, and I can teach that. What I cannot teach is the attitude, is the caring. You have to innately, as a person, find reward and satisfaction from helping other people get better in the gym, from watching their success, watching them get better. That has to be rewarding to you. Not everyone has that, and that doesn't mean it's bad. Nothing wrong with them. And a lot of you guys have this too. I think in general, we celebrate each other's successes at the gym. I love that about our community. But as a coach, you have to have that in spades. And you also do have to be kind of a nerd and interested in the subtleties and details of all the movements we do in class. As you guys know, it's not how much you know, it's how much you care. And you can have all the knowledge and all the skills required to be a coach. And if you don't really care about making people better, it's kind of a wasted skill set. This, at its core as a job, is a relational job. So that is the thing I cannot teach, and that is the thing I have to see in the coaches before I ever even want them to consider being a coach. Guys, I want my coaches to be servants. They know this. They need to control the room. They need to control class and be armed with the authority to do so. That is the best way to serve you guys. But they are there to help make you better and give you a good experience. And this is my job too. I not only serve all of you guys, I serve the coaches as well, while still commanding respect. They have to command your respect. I have to command their respect, but we are servants by nature in this job. And guys, know that I have the coaches back. As I said earlier, I like coaching. What I hate is micromanaging. When I had other jobs, I hate micromanaging people and I hate being micromanaged. So I try my best, and it's not hard for me to not do it. So I need to trust my coaches can safely and effectively handle class so that I don't need to be there, or I just rather do it myself. Because as I said a while back, I like coaching. So I'm pretty hard on these guys, and I expect a lot of them. Behind the scenes, guys, we have a lot of talks, both as a group and individually, and I expect a lot of them. I am not into giving busy work and a bunch of checklists. You guys may or may not have noticed this, but each coach needs to be a member for quite some time before they ever become a coach. And they must be a regular in class. This is one of my big criteria as well. I want coaches who are naturally consistent class attenders who give good effort. And I want to see that they do that not to get the job, but just because that is what they do. I don't want to have to coach that or police that. And this automatically rules out a lot of coaches who might have the rest of the skill sets, but don't have that consistency. I lose a lot of potential coaches because I do make them become a member and spend their own money on a membership for quite some time without any guarantees that they will ever coach at our gym. And this is why, as you guys see, our coaches tend to arise from our midst rather than come from the outside. Every gym has a certain way of doing things, right or wrong, good and bad differences. I, of course, like how we do things, and I want the coaches to be very familiar with how we do things before they ever shadow their other first class, before they ever even start down the road of the process. Once I decide someone may coach at the gym, they are going to shadow all of the coaches multiple times. They need to see each person's method, because we're all different in the Celtics, and you guys know class runs in a specific order, but within that, each coach has their own flavor, with the introduction at the whiteboard, with how they do the warm-up, with the music they play. It is their class, and they run it their way within the structure of how we do it as a gym and as a community. The coaches know their number one goal is for you to have a good experience at the gym. This is their preeminent goal, but at the same time, I want my coaches to coach each of you. So as a member, this is on your side. You need to be willing to be coached. If you want to just come to the gym and do your own thing and never get told how to do something differently, then I can say we are probably not the gym for you. You need to be willing to be coached, and I want my coaches to learn how best you receive coaching. And that is a process that is never perfect, that takes trial and error and experience. And this is why I like my coaches to primarily coach the same class times, so they get to see the regulars at that class time, see their strengths and weaknesses, see what they're naturally good at, what they're not as good at, what they pick up easily, and what takes more work. I want my coaches to know that about the individuals they coach regularly, because it's going to make them a better coach for them. I am very protective of the experience you guys have in class. I think about it a lot, and I want every class to be done at a high level that you enjoy, that the coach enjoys, that all of us have a positive experience from. And I like each coach's personality shining through on that. Therefore, I want to be able to be gone and not be worried about it. To know the coach is capable of handling class at a high level, or like I said at the beginning, I'll just do it myself. Let me take a step back and talk about this from a philosophical angle. Leader versus boss. A leader, I believe, points the direction we are going and sees how the roles fit together for the job to get done. A boss just has a title that gives them the authority to tell people what to do. I have no desire to be the boss, and if I am playing that role, I think I will fail. I am doing my best to be the leader with the coaches. Each coach is equally important to that plan. Our roles are different. My role is a little bit different from them, but each person is equally important to that. And I, as the leader, need to be able to fill whatever role the situation requires at the gym, at class, in general. This is what I like. This is another thing I like about my relationship with my coaches, guys. I like the fact that all of them could walk away from coaching and their life would not change much. All of them want to coach. They don't need to coach. So when I get them to follow me on stuff, it is because they trust that if I ask them to do something, I have reasons for it and they can ask why, and I will explain it. And then I'm doing everything I'm asking of them, so that they willingly come with me down the path that I'm asking us to go down. This is why one of the things, I'm not into having coach or owner shirts. There's nothing wrong with them, but I want my behavior to identify me. Be the verb and you'll get the noun. Do the actions and you will get the title naturally. People will give it to you. So I don't need a shirt that says head coach or owner. I want to conduct myself in a way that it's obvious. I want a new person to walk in the gym and be very, very quickly be able to tell that's the person running the show right now for this class. I'm not a big believer in having assigned parking spots or anything like that. The one luxury I allow myself, guys, as the guys know, is I have a bag at the gym with a change of clothes in the guys' locker room. For my sake and y'all's sake, I am at the gym more than anybody, and I need to have some changes of clothes. So out of necessity, that's the one luxury I allow myself. But again, this is the big difference between a leader and a boss. There are owners that believe that being the owner gives them certain unalienable rights. I don't believe that. What I believe it gives me is responsibility. I have a different role than you guys, but I am still a member at this gym that works out with you guys. I have a bigger impact on the environment being a positive one than you guys do, but you guys all have an impact on that environment too, and I cannot do it alone. It takes all of us. So I don't feel like I deserve an owner's parking spot. If one of you gets there before me and you take the spot closest to the door, great, so be it. If I have to park down under the trees somewhere on Groveton, guys, life is good. I'm getting to walk into a building, do something I love, and kick my own ass in class next to my friends. So, like, just whether I park close or far away, life is really awesome in that way. Guys, I wanted to go over this just so you understand behind the scenes philosophically how I get coaches, what I ask of them, what I'm requiring of myself, so you can see if we're doing it. So you can see if we're doing it successfully. And that's why I wanted to go over this today. Side note, and Scarlett can verify this, I always park in general at the back of a parking lot. When Scarlett and I make our weekly trip to HEB on Sundays, we always park at the back. I don't believe I do all these lunges and all those squats and all of the burpees to then fight and wait and flick people off and yell at people to get the closest parking spot. Park in the back. And I will just say in general, guys, take the stairs at the airport, take the stairs at the concert, park in the back of the lot, use your fitness. So that's kind of a side tangent I'm ending on, but I hope you guys found this interesting about the coaching. Let me know if you have any thoughts. Till next time.